that's where I feel like design or styling becomes really interesting in Pakistan, right? I don't think people necessarily tap you because they like the aesthetic you present. I think people tap you because you either have like a social media presence or everyone's talking about you or like,
Right.
a whole bunch of other kind of things. You have to follow trends or that trends matter. They really fucking don't, like the entire point of trends is that capitalism is trying to sell you. Well, we're going to talk a lot about
We are.
capitalism.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
But every like they're trying to sell you something.
Right.
What actually makes you stand out in terms of style or individual style is when you stick to things that you know work for you and then you kind of play around with that instead of constantly jumping on every new bandwagon that Instagram is
I
throwing
mean,
at
that's
you.
such a great point because even in advertising for us, the most common thing which people come and tell us
Ye
is
viral
that
ho
ye
gaya,
viral
boss.
kar dein, ya kis
Yeah.
tarah viral karne hain, things like
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And they move away from. Hi guys, welcome back to Harper After 5. I'm Umar Jalani, creative director and founder of Harper Studios. Today's guest is someone who's done absolutely everything in fashion: stylist, producer, model, fashion journalist, and creative director. Haya Bukhari is basically a one woman creative department. She's the person behind some of the coolest shots, sharpest stories, and most effortless outfits, with an aesthetic that equals part brilliant and experimental. So today we're diving into her glamorous world, finding out what inspires her and how she's reshaping what fashion means to her. Welcome, Haya.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. That was such a fantastic introduction. I'm like
And I
stumbling
know
for words.
I said the name incorrectly last
No,
time,
no.
but I think we got this.
Yeah, I think we got
right.
it.
So, since you're doing so many things, how do you introduce yourself?
I just like to introduce myself as a creative person. And I feel like as creative people, we do so many different things that it's hard to put yourself in a single box. And then I think when you do that, it kind of takes away from the different jobs you do in a single day or like on a set or like for a single campaign. And so I don't like calling myself a stylist or a producer. I just like calling myself like a creative.
I mean, it's
It
difficult
sounds
to
it
explain
sounds
to your grandparents, right?
it also sounds really pompous. So I hate doing it and I hate introducing myself. So thank you so much for introducing me instead.
So, I mean, since you're wearing so many hats, what feels more like home?
Um, Honestly, I don't know how to answer that because every different role that I play kind of scratches a different creative itch. I've worked as a journalist. I have a background in English literature, so it felt like the most natural segue from literature to journalism.
Right.
Writing is still something that speaks very deeply to me. But then writing is also, or like reading is a dying art, right? Like no one really reads anymore. So even as I started my career, it was very easy to see how people responded very quickly to images instead. And so styling then kind of comes in as a very quick way of getting that validation fix. You
Right.
style someone, they look at themselves in the mirror and they'll be like, oh my God, I look great. And then you feel fantastic because you've, put together something that makes someone feel like themselves or feel really good in whatever
So, what
they're
was
wearing.
your first styling project, if you remember?
My first major styling project was like the one that I was paid for separately. Was a lawn campaign for Saira Rizwan.
Right.
It was her first lawn, like her first lawn, like offering and whatever, and we'd done that. But this was also simultaneously with red carpet styling that I was doing for Umaima Malik and Aisha Umar
Right.
because the movies were coming out together side by side in 2014, I want to say. This is Dekh Magar Pyar Se and Karachi Se Lahore.
Right.
And so the concept of personal styling or red carpet styling was just being introduced to Pakistan. And I was luckily tapped by both the women to create looks for them.
For red carpet styling, you have to be present at the red carpet all the time, or is it something which you have other people to help? you with, or
I
how does
mean,
that-
I guess
just for
now-
my own information.
So
I'm
I
a
guess
bit
now
shy.
the thing is changing. Pehle because it was such a new nascent concept. You were lucky if you were just kind of there present in the room while the person was executing the look. Otherwise, what you do is like create a mood board, create like a makeup look, do the clothing and the jewelry and whatever, and you kind of hand it over.
Right.
Generally, the makeup artist is the person who's mostly following a celebrity around, or
Right.
this was the case around 10, 12 years ago. Now you usually come across an entourage. There's a manager, there's your stylist, there's your makeup artist, then there's a little chotu, carrying your bag and your
Right.
like, comfortable slippers.
Extremely
and-
important.
yeah, absolutely. So there's like an entourage now, but back then, you'd maybe be at the salon with the celebrity while they were getting ready,
Right.
and then you'd send them off.
So what's your
yeah?
what's your like a non-negotiable when you're styling a look or directing a shoot? Like, do you get
I
sort of requests which you're like, okay, we can't do this?
No, because paisa kya aur nakhra kya,
Mm,
if they're
But
paying
people
you.
are already hiring you for a
No, but that's
Yeah?
where I feel like design or styling becomes really interesting in Pakistan, right? I don't think people necessarily tap you because they like the aesthetic you present. I think people tap you because you either have like a social media presence or everyone's talking about you or like
Right.
a whole bunch of other kind of things.
Right.
I think there are very few stylists whose aesthetic I can really pinpoint and be like, okay, yeah, that I understand. Like I can look at a celebrity that this stylist has dressed and immediately be able to
Okay, this is the
pinpoint.
stylist.
Yeah, which is
interesting.
what the entire point is.
So they are more concerned about your work ethic and also how good your social media presence is overall.
No, that's why I'm not a very, commercially popular stylist because I can't. I don't. I'm not great at personal branding.
Right.
Um,
Why not? Why aren't you great at that?
because I can either
You need to
style you
style
or I
your
can
own.
sell myself.
Right.
It's one of the two.
Right.
And
It's
I mean,
something maybe you need to hire someone else to do it, or are you just not interested in it?
I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not that kind of person or personality. And I actually
Right.
think that the women and men who manage to build a personal brand while also kind of work in styling and like kind of merge the two together are incredible. Like it
Right.
is so much work and you're
Right.
almost constantly on.
Right.
I really like my downtime. I like not talking to anyone. I like not looking at my phone.
Right.
But these are things that don't necessarily play very well into you building like a styling or like a social media brand. You have to be present.
So, I mean, what's one common fashion myth you wish everyone would stop believing?
You have to follow trends or that trends matter. They really fucking
Right.
don't. Like the entire point of trends is that capitalism is trying to sell you. Well, we're going to talk a lot about
We are.
capitalism.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
But they're trying to sell you something.
Right.
The fashion that we're wearing now is also the fashion that I kind of grew up with in the 90s and also in the 2000s. We're just kind of revamping the same styles, adding like a little bit of like a zhuzh to it, and then repackaging and selling the same thing. So it's not that you have to buy into every single trend that comes out. What actually makes you stand out in terms of style or individual style is when you stick to things that you know work for you and then you kind of play around with that instead of constantly jumping on every new bandwagon that Instagram is
I
throwing
mean, that's
at
such
you.
a great point because even in advertising for us, the most common thing which people come and tell us
Ye
is
viral
that
ho
ये
gaya,
viral
boss.
कर दें या किस तरह
Yeah.
viral करने हैं, things like
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And they move away from the consistency of the brand.
Or like the actual integrity of what you're trying to say. Because if you're only concerned about virality,
Right.
then
I mean, there are lots of cheap ways to be able to do that.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
I mean, will that really work for your brand, or will it be counterproductive? Is I think what's more.
I think that
important.
also depends on like the brand and the brand like identity and ideology. I think some brands don't really care because they kind of live by the philosophy that any publicity is good publicity. Lots of people live by this philosophy.
Absolutely.
And so in order to find like brand synergy, it has to be like your values and ideology and the brand values and your ideology also really have to sync in order to
Right.
produce something great.
I mean, you sound a lot like a content copywriter as well. I mean, there's a lot of words which the terminology which you're using is typical of a copywriter.
I have
but
studied a lot
but
of
you've
English.
studied a lot, yeah. And you are able to convince people verbally by what they require, what they might not want, or is it something which you just kind of? I mean, do you?
This is
Let
such
me
an
rephrase
interesting
it again.
point.
Are you able to use your words to kind of convince people better?
I think the thing with Pakistan is people say yes a
Yeah.
lot. Okay. So they'll be like, ha, great, great, great. Of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Done. Bilkul. This is exactly what it is. And then you'll show up on set and they'll be like, "Hey, हमने तो
ये
ये नहीं
नहीं
कहा
आता.
था.
हाँ.
हमने तो ये नहीं मांगा था. आप क्या बात कर रही हैं?" So yeah, I can convince them with words, but
Yeah.
words aren't really,
So do you
what
have
you
set
execute.
contracts for this? Because this is something very important. Do you have a brief which you send out to people, and then you sign on a brief which you agree on, or
We
is this
do
like
not
a
sign on anything, but there are
Right.
mood boards that are shared. Obviously, there's a storyboard that I now require from a brand. You have to tell me what you're working towards. It can't just be कि हम हमारी ये vibe है तो आप हमें ये कर दें.
नहीं तो फिर I mean फिर तो एक बहुत endless एक conversation हो सकती है. मतलब there's no boundaries then, right?
In what sense? Sorry.
Matlab if you've shared a mood board, they've
Yeah.
agreed on it,
Yeah.
and then after the shoot they don't like it,
Yeah.
or during the shoot,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of tackle that then?
You don't. You can't.
Right. Do you get
There's
paid for
nothing-
it?
Yeah, you get paid for it, but like eventually it leaves a bad taste in your mouth just simply because I've put a lot of work or thought into creating this mood board or this look for you. And if it wasn't the look that worked for you, you could have told me at that point in time
Right.
and I would have redone it, or we could have, worked around to like fix it. But when you're on set and then you change your mind,
Then there's
it leaves
very
very
limited-
little,
yes,
it
exactly.
leaves very little room. It affects the mood of the entire set. It affects how then I approach my work, right? Because
So
now
how do you
I'm-
tackle it then?
I tackle it by then saying, okay, if this is what you want, then let's just do it. Because if you're hiring me for my expertise, but you don't like my expertise, and you know better than I do, then I will go by what you're saying because you're the one who's eventually paying
Absolutely.
me. You
And
want
there's only so
seven.
much fight you can.
You want seven horns on your model's head,
Right.
and every horn painted a different color.
Right.
Cool,
Go
man.
for
It's
it.
your brand,
Right.
your model, your
Right.
money. That's how you want it to look. That's how you
I
want
mean,
it to
isn't
look.
that like a huge challenge in all the sort of creative fields in Pakistan? It's like, it's like going to a doctor and telling what medicine he should give you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Or like picking a doctor and then being like, okay, now I'm gonna make my plan, and you just go sign
sign
off
it.
of it.
Yeah. So I mean,
You know.
just why don't you?
But I'm
teach
sure this
yourself
is
then?
something. This is also something that you guys have to deal with a
I mean,
lot,
every day,
right? Like
every day.
people who'll come in with no idea of what they actually want,
Right.
but they know very clearly what they don't want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anything you put out, they'll just be like,
Absolutely.
"ये नहीं है,"
Absolutely.
and you'll be like, "तो फिर चाहिए क्या?"
Bilkul. And that's why and that's why I was asking that contract question earlier, because we've, after years, have not really nailed it down, but
Yeah.
we've come closer to how to kind of safeguard ourselves.
Right.
And that's why for us, at least contracts and stuff are very important when they sign off. And we started charging a lot more as an advance of what
Right.
you signed for.
Right.
So even if you hate the stuff later on,
Yeah. You have to-
we protect ourselves
Right.
a bit, and I think it's fair enough.
Absolutely.
Especially for a market like this. So outside Pakistan, have you worked for people or clients outside Pakistan for you? For
I
yourself?
have written for publications outside of Pakistan,
Right.
but I have not done styling for
Right.
celebrities outside of Pakistan.
Right.
I've been quite locally, like I'm a homegrown
Right.
talent, and I work
Absolutely.
here. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm not like Ehsan Khan who's here and there.
So what's one fashion choice which you made in the past which you now cringe at?
Oh my God, so many. Panda eyes, like, like growing up, all those girls in like LGS used to have like kajal up and down and just like panda eyes. They're
Yeah.
like, no.
So
yeah,
like,
like growing up,
open
like you're like, you're if you're from the 2000s, the panda eyes and the little poof with like a tiny
Right.
little clip here. And then we'd wear like dresses with jeans, and all of this shit is coming back. Like that's the thing about trends. Like
I've got
you-
girls in the back who love this.
yeah.
They're
Oh
like,
my
yes.
god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like it was a rite of passage, right? Like all of your Ashley Tisdales and like Hilary Duffs and whatever. Like it was this specific like early 2000s hair puff that looked good on no one, but we all did it. Yeah.
So that's one thing. So um, keeping on going with styling, if you
Yeah.
could style personally someone in the world, who would you love to style?
Who would I love to? I feel
Dead
like
or
people
alive?
who
I mean, you could
I feel
choose.
like people who have good style don't necessarily need styling,
Right.
and then people
Oh, that's
who
a great
have
point. Yeah. Love
yeah,
that.
and then people who have bad style, who would I love to style in that regard?
Yeah, actually, that's a better question. Who do you think really needs help in styling?
How much trouble do I want to get in?
I don't know. It's your podcast. I'm already in trouble.
I feel like there's a lot of local celebrities who could look so much better if they developed something that was more individual to them rather than just like a copy of what they see in Bollywood or
Yeah.
Hollywood or whatever, right?
Right. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's a great point because also, I mean, you think AI could help people, go through a bunch of different styles for them to choose from, or would that help you personally as a stylist? That if you take a picture of
think-
someone and maybe you have like a
I
dozen
have
different
never
ideas or
actually thought
something?
about it before this, but I think that is a very, very, very cool way of using a bit of technology that I really don't like.
Right.
But the idea of like, because you're
You
basically
don't like or you haven't delved into it much.
I have decided that I am a boomer as far as AI is concerned,
Right.
and I have rejected it entirely.
Oh, come on. I'm
I think
also a
it's
boomer. So,
no, you're not. We're both not boomers. You're
course.
like Gen X, and I'm like millennial.
I'm 45.
Yeah, so you're Gen X.
So
Yeah.
you've been telling me something wrong the whole thing. See, that's how old I am. I don't even know the things.
yeah,
I'm not going to ask how old you are.
I'm 35.
But
I have no
you're
problems.
27.
I'm 35. I have no problem saying
so
it. I've
you're
lived
not
a
a
life
boomer
long-
at all.
No, I'm not. I'm a
Is she?
millennial. No, I'm a millennial.
Okay, you're a
Um,
millennial. Yep.
And
So yeah, going back to that, would you be interested in something in which AI could help? people style?
absolutely,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
basically reminded me of like I don't know. I don't know if anyone in this audience is gonna know Clueless, the movie.
Yeah, I know
Right?
it.
Okay, so remember how in Clueless she had this really killer computer where she could like
Yeah.
scroll through
Yeah.
and like pick a top and pick a bottom,
Yep.
and that's basically AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and
Absolutely.
so if we have that, if I could use that as a tool to make a mood board or like a storyboard to send to a celebrity for a red carpet event,
Right.
or for like an advertising campaign, or for a film, where you need to see different options on how they look on a person without
Absolutely.
actually seeing them in person.
Bilkul.
I think that could be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Like I think that
and
could
just
be
to
brilliant.
kind of introduce you and get you excited about it, I mean, it's just going to save you time to doing things which, you're not interested in doing, or it takes you a lot of time,
Sure.
or,
I think
you're not
it's
able
just
to
more than-
represent it properly.
More than anything else, I think it just takes away the logistics of it
It does.
because
Saves you a lot of time and
yeah,
money.
but I still do feel like there's a certain intimacy to the analog method that
Right.
you just do not get
I mean,
otherwise.
you can show some resistance, but
I feel like I
understand.
do actually feel like a boomer when I talk about AI because like the way I talk about AI is how our parents talked about the internet, back in the 90s.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. Like
Bilkul.
don't ever put your information on it,
My
people will show up.
first email was umarsmokespot@hotmail.com, right?
My
and I
first-
started coordinating with my my college application
Yeah.
for it. And later on, my friend who made my email was like, "Dude, you can't do this."
My brother made my email address. I was like 11 years old, and I thought it was the coolest. But my first email
Did it have
address
a
was
digit?
Haya_bazooka. So I'm applying for jobs.
You still have it?
No, thank
Come on.
God. But
You
now
forgot
I'm
the
applying for
password?
jobs with an email address that says Haya_bazooka.
All right.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. So, wait, I need to recover from this joke for 2 seconds. So, if your style was a movie genre, what kind of movie are you thinking of?
Ooh, I would say Jab We Met. Like just
I
off the
haven't
top
seen it,
of
so
my
I don't
head.
know about it.
Because it has this Jab We Met was kind of groundbreaking in terms of style because they use this fusion of Eastern and Western. Like one of like Kareena Kapoor's most iconic sequences in it is her wearing like this lambi kind of round ghire wali shirt, like t-shirt, but it's like a longer t-shirt and like a massive ghire wali shalwar.
Right.
And after that, that Patiala shalwar exploded fucking
Acha.
everywhere. And she had this like really cool kind of cross between like kajal, but also like, you know, kind of like Western inspired like silhouettes, but with lots of Eastern accessories. And I feel like that's a sensibility that speaks really well to me. That and maybe like a slightly more androgynous kind of aesthetic.
So ये जब you met जो movie इससे पहले the starting these sort of styles weren't popular, or they existed but people didn't.
They did, but
kind
I
of
feel like that's the like I don't know if you've seen Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham. No. Oh my
terrible at
god.
Indian movies. I
Why are you so
apologize.
anglicized? God
I
damn.
hardly see movies. So
What is this? No. What is this post-colonial hangover? Let's
Dude,
get
they-
over it.
I just don't watch a lot of movies.
So I feel like that's the thing about like films or like pop culture.